Greetings everyone and welcome. This is Berke Creations podcast, my knitting podcast from Transylvania. My name is Sophie, and I live here with my small family, currently building our homestead. We're gonna move there pretty soon, in 2 months' time. So in this episode, I think this is episode 10, I'd like to talk about spring cleaning and ugly knitwear. How are you? Did you already start the spring cleaning? I definitely did. I have, I think, plenty of time now to reduce the amount of stuff and I don't want to start to move in a new house with a bunch of old and not wearable, not usable stuff anymore. And I must say, this feels so good. Like in Hungarian, we say this mókusgén. You can learn this word with me now if you like mókusgén. And mókus is squirrel, and gén is like gene. So like it's like a squirrel gene in you that keeps you accumulating stuff and hoarding stuff, and it's kind of like feels heavy and difficult at the first moment to get rid of this stuff. So mókusgén, it's the word for this that I like to use. So I pretty much have this squirrel gene, the mókusgén, and I'm consciously trying to overcome this aspect of my mind. So yes, just the idea is that it feels good to know what you have and to open these scary drawers in which for many years maybe in the back of them lies something that you already forgot about. And that's why I also took out my old works in progress here. I think it's good to have them in displayed so that I can see them and feel motivated to finish them, because if they are in a bag somewhere, it's just like you forget about them. I forget about them. So I have them here outside, and I must say I have like 5 projects, 5 shirts there or sweaters there without sleeves, and it was pretty satisfying that I started doing the sleeves on them. So every time I've had the need of just going around the stockinette, I don't mind magic loop. I just picked up one of them and like in 3-5 days finished one sleeve, and that's great. I hope for a further episode I can show you the 5 sweaters that I only did the sleeves this year. Yeah, so they were like cast on last year or even the year before, and this year definitely I'm gonna work on them to have sleeves. So this is like this part of my spring cleaning, and I'm also feeling the need of it because it's just overwhelming for my mind. So many stuff are overwhelming for my mind, and it feels good to reduce the amount of things. It's just, yeah, if you haven't ever tried this, just try just a little bit. I'm not saying Marie Kondo because that's for my mókusgén, or squirrel gene. It's still a little bit heavy, but I really admire it. Like, is this thing brings me joy or not? Because I don't know, sometimes I felt like I am just so emotionally attached to things, even so that they not in use, but they still bring me joy. So I have to find a solution there. But I think I am on a good track by finishing old projects, giving away things that I don't use or selling them, and yeah, just being conscious about it. So then, before I present you my beautiful ugly knits, I just want to talk about a community project that I come up with the idea now because of in need. So here behind me is the Barcarolle dress by Leah Prestamo, and this is a cotton maxi dress that I knitted in 2 months, 2.5 months. It was a test knit, and if you want to know about the actual process and the testing, you can check my previous episode about it, episode 9. I got a picture here about the designers and my version, but I'm presenting it again because I consider this not a finished object until I print it, and this is something that I really want to try, and I would love to invite you guys to get involved with me because as I said before, in my area in zone 5 we are still winter and I don't have any leaves on the trees and any flowers, maybe some crocuses just coming up. So I'm inviting you guys to send me a letter with some plant material, dried materials. And the best are those that are in a hotter climate at the moment. So those that already had a few months of growing and nurture from the sun and the soil and everything. Because the early spring flowers, as I heard, or plants are not the best choice for this. So that's why I try to speak with people who live in a warmer climate. But now it's like kind of this project is growing, so I am welcoming everyone who wants to send me a little letter with a few pressed dried flowers and leaves for this project. And I'm just checking on my phone because I actually tried to look it up what would be the best plants for this. I don't know so much and I don't know them all, and for sure they change for your area. For example, if someone is from Australia, probably you can do your research on what is the best for printing from Australia. Here what I found are like black walnut, oak, chestnut, maple, adler, gum tree and sumac. I'm gonna open a thread in my Ravelry group. So then go ahead, I linked my Ravelry group down below, and you can go ahead and let's start a conversation about this. I'm gonna put up a few every time that I found usable plants. We can talk about the plants that are great. I'm definitely gonna ask Maria of Ninja Chickens because she has a lot of knowledge about this, about what are the best plants or what she likes to use mostly. And yeah, if you are interested in printing, let's do this together. I'm also happy to announce that the designer of the dress, the Barcarolle dress, Leah Prestamo, she's kindly offered to send a prize for a raffle. So between those of you who are sending me a little letter, I'm gonna draw a winner and you can win this lovely dress pattern. Then the other thing I wanted to chat about today are ugly knitwear, because I do have now a few ugly knits that I consider them ugly, but I'm not afraid to show them to you, and this episode is about the ugly, because as I said, with the spring cleaning sometimes you find ugly stuff that you are still want to hang on to. So I also started using a hashtag #myuglyknits for this, and I already posted my ugly knitwear on that. But today I'm just gonna show them to you on the podcast, and one of them would be this one. What do you think? Maybe I should wear. So here it is, my first ugly project, this episode. It's from all kind of some kind of acrylic blends of mohair kind of acrylics, and yeah, just all these fluffy fibers that I have been lying around. I had them lying around, and I don't know, they just somehow got in a bunch together, because yeah, I'm also revisiting my stash. So, and these skeins just got, or balls of yarn just got next to each other together, and I don't know, I had to let it out of my system. I had to make a stripy, oversized pullover with it, but I kind of messed it up with the neckline, and it's too wide. But you know what? I like this one actually so much. I like this sweater so much because it's just so incredibly warm. So the template I used for my raglans are the Trescao jumper by avec Anna. And yeah, just a jumper, super hot. Kind of still useful. Here I had a skein with some gradients, but it's really not that lovely. I'm thinking I'm gonna do, I have some more of this yellow, and I'm gonna do some embroidered flowers on it. But yeah, this is my ugly sweater that I made just a few weeks ago, and despite of that, I love it. So the other ugly project that I want to show to you is a skirt, and it's not a test knit, but kind of like called beta knit. So it's like something more relaxed than a test knit without a deadline. It just, you have to cast on and do have a little bit of progress on it. But I don't know exactly what happened with this pattern. I guess it's a skirt, and it's by McLaughlin, or LBHandknits, it's the best I can say. And it's a skirt, and I never saw it published yet, and I don't know what's happening with it. I casted this on quite a few months ago, maybe even a year ago. What is really lovely, it's this band, the waistband. You can see here, it's called the linen stitch. It's kind of like a woman stitch pattern. I think it's really lovely. But then I messed it up because that should be outside, but then I have the wrong side for the outside. So, and then my yarn, it's really just this ugly dyed local yarn, because I dyed it when it's like some kind of experiment, and it didn't turn out that nice. So it's kind of really ugly color in my perspective. And now I am on a third skein, and I'm adding just a little bit of darker stripe on the bottom. So what I want to do with this ugly knit, I want to finish it, and I want to dye it black, so, or dark blue. That's why I don't mind adding that on the bottom. So it's gonna have definitely some color changes, but let's see if I can make something nice from an ugly project. And the pattern itself, it's not an ugly project, just my project turned out ugly, and sometimes, right, that happens. Like the yarn you are using not the best. Like my yarn with this needle size, it's kind of like all the stitches look really wonky. It's really see-through. But I'm kind of still excited about this, first of all, to have it finished, and then also to try to rescue it before I would resume to anything more radical, right? So this is actually my method with my spring cleaning. I try to rescue, for example, I am reusing my old shirts, cutting them up, and I'm gonna make a rug out of them. I already did that once before and it turned out beautifully because I really paid attention to the color scheme there. So yeah, spring cleaning here and there and throwing away things, but sometimes some things can be saved, and if they don't turn out right, then you don't mind getting rid of them, but at least you can try out, I mean, I can try out my creativity with this, so like creatively dye it and maybe put some embroidery on it and see what happens. Yes, these are today's episode ugly hand knits, and I am using the hashtag #myuglyknits for these. I'm gonna use them in the future, and I encourage you to use it too. And I'm really curious, what are your ugly hand knits? Show them to me. Show them on Instagram. I am Berke creations there, and you can check out more detailed pictures about them. These on there. And yeah, just really, I'm really absolutely curious what are your ugly knits, and if you're not afraid to show them off, just bring it on. I want to see them. I was also searching for my first hand knitted project. It's a really big, ugly, red acrylic sweater, but I couldn't find it. And it's in a chunky or bulky weight. But then, because this is my stream of thought, then I remember that not because it's ugly, but because of the first hand knitted garments, I'd like to mention two fellow podcasters who are progressing on their first garment ever, and I am totally cheering for them on this one. So I'd like to mention Alexis from my Yarny Corner podcast. She's making the Weekender by Andrew Mowry, and this is like her first hand knitted sweater. She knits for a while, but she never made a sweater before. And she also crochets, and she makes this lovely, really extremely cute little bears. And she has this undertaking of making one bear each month of the year. So yes, if you want to see something new or a new face, then check her out. She's really lovely. And then other lovely, really enjoyable podcaster is Wild Cottage Ireland, Susan, and she's also making her first garment, the foxy color scheme garment, and she's totally a fox lover, dog lover, sweet woman from Ireland, of course. And her podcast started actually with some observations about their fox that was visiting their garden all the time for many years, Foxy Grace. So you can, if you are a fox lover, then you can totally find a lot of nice footage about foxes there. And recently she is like uploading such a funny, nice outdoor setting, or in the polytonal setting podcast episodes. I really enjoy to watch her, so go check these two fellow podcasters out and have fun. Before I go, I think it's time to revisit my knitting bingo, because I just did that a couple of days ago, and I want to show to you how much is colored now at this point of the year. So you can see I have some full squares colored, but some others are just half, because I just started those projects. And let me just quickly go through them. So first of all, I have the dress that's behind me, the Barcarolle dress. I made that happen. The pants, I have those. In a previous episode you saw only one leg of my pants. Today I'm not going to show them to you because I am just really close to the finishing. I'm on a waistband, so I want to show them to you when they are completely finished and I can actually wear them. Then other totally finished, like the sideways construction, it's also color. That was my curvo sweater, like really many episodes ago when I was sitting outside in the snow. Then I have the scrappy project also finished, and that would be this ugly sweater that I don't have a name yet. Please suggest a name for my ugly sweater, I would love that. And yeah, those are completely finished project. So what I started are for Jennifer Bill. One test knit is a lace shrug, so I have that now colored half, because it kind of feels good if I have that half colored. Then the cables, that's another test knit, that's for Sari Nordlund, the mini Sawyer. That's a cabled sweater for my son. So the Sawyer sweater has now a mini version. So, and this is gonna be then my matchy project, because if I make for myself the Sawyer, then him, my son, and me, we're gonna have the matchy. Oh yes, and then I have my knee-high socks that you saw a few episodes back, and I'm still on a half of that. So I'm gonna be cranking on those, which are now half squares. And then of course here it is, my 12 finished 12 works in progress to finish this year. So I'm gonna revisit that when I get through with this pile. I hope that very soon. So yeah, the idea is to finish 12 old finished objects like UFOs this year. So I have to see how many I already finished by this time of the year. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'm really curious about your projects, your ugly projects in particular in this time of year. Your spring cleaning dilemmas, ideas, tactics for not to be so attached to stuff. So please share those with me. I'm really curious about that. Then get involved with my Barcarolle dress eco printing. Don't forget that there's gonna be a raffle for this. And check out the Tudor Roses KAL if you want to knit this year from the book of the Tudor Roses. This is gonna go on the whole 2021. So thank you so much for joining me in, and I hope you are feeling well and healthy, and wishing you the best time, the best spring. So take care. Bye.